You know what I'm saying? And that is chess.
That's chess.
You know what I'm saying?
Can't get you here, we're gonna get you there.
So
yeah.
Not this move, next move.
No, but think about it. Young Thug, cold-blooded, hustler, blood, Young Thug. They build you up, then they pull the rug from up under you.
Yeah, we on Boss Talk 101. Yeah, we gonna talk.
I think when you think about it, man, it's levels, man, and the levels are it's so many different levels. When you look at Young Thug, I always got, me, I'm on everything. Young Thug, basically, the tapes came out, Ken. Mm-hmm. I hadn't talked to you since, but he was in jail for a while, and all of a sudden, tapes come out. The recordings of him, what he was saying about everybody. He was talking about this. He was talking about that. He had a lot of time to spend on the phone. He even talked about things that got him, all his people was mad at him when he came home now that they started dropping the tapes. The recordings of him in the county. What did you think when you first started seeing them dropping them? Because I was suspicious, like, who the hell dropping these? Like, is Fannie Willis dropping these? Mm-hmm. Who's dropping these dang recordings from jail that he was speaking to? And then the interrogation room where he was interrogated, that also dropped. Did that throw you for a loop?
Well, it's like having sex with a woman.
I was
right?
about to say that, mad ass CEOs.
And she recording the sex and you recording the sex. And the sex tapes get out. You know what I'm saying? It's similar to a sex tape leak, And I say that not to be funny because I don't have no qualm with neither one of those brothers. But, we forget. We forget that we had sex with this person. Vanessa Williams, prime example. She became Miss America. But she had all these sex tapes. I remember that back in the day.
Yeah, I remember that. That's old school. Yeah.
I ain't know that.
Yeah, that's old school. And she had to give up her Miss America pageant because she got caught with, and she forgot totally about it. And I think that's what happens, man. A lot of dudes, they say, I'm a real gangster. Woo. But they forget the basic rules of the game. The main thing in hustling is, do not talk to the police under no circumstances. Mm-hmm. Ice-T said they will lie, but they can lie and you can't. They can tell you that they're going to let you leave in 24 hours if you give them everything you want. They're going to tell you that they're your friend. And the reason why you don't talk to a detective is because they got 24-hour shifts and you're going to get fatigued. And you're going to say things and you're going to get disgruntled and you're going to want to go home. And that's where they get you when you're in your vulnerability stages. And he probably don't even realize that he said that because you got to give him credit for his gangster too because he took his case to trial. They get to the point where they had to give him a deal, but he was hanging in there like wet clothes in the projects. You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes.
On the close line.
Okay. Ken, I don't know. I've been in trial and I had people, I could have said this or said, I ain't do no talking. So I can't excuse. I had people around that I never been a dude that's gonna go in there and I ain't talking to nobody. And during the time, and I'm in there, I'm not talking on the phones. I'm not talking to nobody. But he was in there for a while. I didn't have to. Maybe 6 months is not a year.
So you say he was talking to the detectives, right?
He talked to the detective, but then he was talking on the phones, and he know them calls being recorded, and you saying all this about different people.
They say it's gonna be recorded.
They tell you.
They ain't never used it until they use it against Young Thug. I mean,
of course.
Who cares about your conversations?
I think
with
they do. They will use it if they could use it. If it's a trial going on and he said something that could have took.
So you know what happened? Because he got out, because I don't know, in some way he somewhat beat everything in some way, right?
No, he's still on probation.
He took a plea.
He took a plea, but he ain't in jail.
But I think they use it. They weaponize.
They're like, we're gonna get his ass on the streets. Remember what I said?
Remember I said the 3 Ds: discredit, destroy,
bang,
and what? Demonize. So y'all got to always think about that. You know what I'm saying? And that is chess.
That's chess.
You know what I'm saying?
Can't get you here, we're gonna get you there.
So
not this move, next move.
No, but think about it. Young Thug, cold-blooded, hustler, blood, young thug. They build you up, then they pull the rug from up under you. P. Diddy, mogul, billion-dollar status, they pull the rug. Kanye, same thing.
R. Kelly.
Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, the same thing. They did the same thing. The first man they did it to, y'all talking about Puffy, nobody talking about Jack Jackson. He the first person to ever receive the Mann Act. The charge that they giving Puffy was the heavyweight champion of the world. He took a white woman across the state, they hit him with the Mann Act. That's where the Mann Act come from. But a lot of people don't understand that. That's why I said history, out of all things, history is best recorded to reward all studies. If you don't know what was, you never know what is. So when you know the strategy and the stratagems of your enemy, you know what I'm saying? You cannot become a billionaire and move the same way you move. Somebody said, we was talking about that, somebody said, what do you change? You change your zip code, your moral code, you know what I'm saying? All your codes. You know what I'm saying? And but because you having more money, you know what I'm saying? And you still deal with the people that you deal with, but you got to tell them, say, look, man, I'm giving you $20,000 a month to be the dude that I know you is.
So do you still keep your loyalty code? Because I'll never get rid of that. And they be saying that I'm supposed to get rid of that because,
Loyalty to what?
Yeah. Do you still be loyal to the game? You still be loyal to a nigga that beat the shit out? I'm just giving you an example. You know what I'm saying? That beat you to death in business and anything. Do you still be loyal to these people when they fuck you over because you at the end of the day ain't gonna go out like that? Or do you be loyal to yourself?
Well, let me give you some game. Let me give you some game. What you do is you get rid of the dead weight, right? Some people are good to you, but they're not good for you. Get rid of the dead weight is like having a 10-pound pack book on your back. And as soon as you get rid of that book pack, you feel like Muhammad Ali can float like a butterfly, you can sting like a bee. But as long as you got that book pack on you, you become immune to that.
You gotta know your dead weight.
So it's okay to say goodbye. The word good is in goodbye. Sometimes you have to let people go. See, God brings people into your life for a reason, and He take people out of your life for a reason. Some people's in your life for a season, some people's in your life for a reason. But I guarantee you, every time God takes somebody out of your life, He gonna make somebody better into your life. You know what I'm saying? But people, where there's the least appearance of evil, you got to expect the greatest amount of danger. Loyalty is a commodity that you can't afford. Why? Because disloyalty comes with loyalty. For everything, for every wall, there's a floor. For every head, there's a tail. For every left, there's a right. So you got to look at both sides of the game. You got loyalty, you got disloyalty too. So do you be loyal to disloyalty? No. Napoleon Hill, one of the greatest men that ever, wrote a book called Think and Grow Rich, and he called one called Wrestling with the Devil. And he talked about, disloyalty. He said, out of all the things that I can forgive a man for, there's one thing I can't forgive a man for, and that's disloyalty. See, people are loyal to what? They're loyal to your success. Boss Talk got people that's going to come up here, they're going to shine his shoes, they're going to start at his feet, you know what I'm saying? But eventually they're going to end up at his throat.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah, because they're only loyal, people loyal to success. So when you got 100...
shine your shoes and end up at your throat.
But listen though, when you got $100 million, Coco, I guarantee you, everybody gonna be loyal to $100 million. The minute you hit rock bottom, everybody that you thought was down with you
ghost
is gonna become a Houdini trick. They're gonna disappear like a magic trick. And that's why loyalty is a commodity that I can't afford.
That's right. That's
so
right.
You can change that code too, Your Honor. To the people out there, yes.
Yeah.
You have to learn what to be loyal to.
Be
loyal to yourself.
Be loyal to yourself.
Okay.
Man.
Loyal to your game, loyal to what's right.
Yeah, we on Boss Talk 101. Yeah, we gonna talk.